I'm Nick Byer, welcome to Pocket for Tuesday, the 30th of August. Today on the show, No Man's Refund and rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat. It's a Tommy gun, see? Mr. Tat. Alright, here's what's been making headlines, and first up, Steam's not just gonna give you back your No Man's Sky money. It has been a wild ride for the space exploration game. Before its release, it had built up near universal excitement and adoration from the gaming community, despite a few death threats here and there. The game was supposed to usher in a new era for gaming. It was the chosen one. It was supposed to bring balance to the mechanical and narrative experience. However, since launch, the reception has been a little more on the side of, what the hell, Sean Murray, you owe me 60 bucks. Steam sales tell the story. On day one, there were over 210,000 people playing No Man's Sky concurrently, which is nothing on Dota 2 or CSGO, but it is around 50% more than every other launch in 2016 so far. The nearest contenders are XCOM 2 and Dark Souls 3, which launched with around 130,000 concurrent players. So for No Man's Sky, a strong start. But by week 2, things were vastly different. People had realized this wasn't the game they were after, and maybe wasn't the game they were told it would be. Sales were down between 80 and 90% in different regions. The world had stopped wanting the galaxy. At which point, a bunch of people started wanting a refund, whether it was from Amazon or Sony or Steam, and while a bunch of those people are entitled to a refund, most of them aren't. Right now, the volume of refund requests is so large that Steam has had to update the No Man's Sky store page to include a reminder that there's nothing special about the game. It reads that, quote, standard Steam refund policy applies. This means Steam will consider your refund reasonable if it's submitted within 14 days of purchase and you have played less than 2 hours of the game on your account. Which, admittedly, is exactly the amount of time No Man's Sky is fun for. And it does look like some people did receive refunds having played more than 2 hours. But as communities, Reddit, began to organize mass refund strategies, Steam decided they've had enough. And I think I side with Steam with this one. It does blow me away that people can spend 70 to 80 hours in a game, which cost them $60 US, and still feel like they didn't get their money's worth. I mean, just stop playing the game if you're not having fun. If you have seen 3 Michael Bay movies since 2008, you have arguably spent more on less interesting experiences. But if you are still on Steam, they just released some old Sierra games. So maybe that's more up your alley. Use your refund money on that. If you can get it. You probably can't though, because you've put 250 hours into No Man's Sky and you're being a big baby about it. The Gabriel Knight series, Phantasmagoria, Police Quest, all the good stuff has been rolled out overnight. Classic adventuring in cool jackets. Something else you could spend your Steam refund money on, if you get it, and you probably will, if it launches on Steam, and I think it should, is the new Clay game, and it's in 3D. The developers behind the excellent Don't Starve and the excellenter Invisible Ink have revealed Hot Lava. Hopefully excellent. It's all about the exhilarating and sometimes traumatic childhood game where the floor is lava, and if you jump on it or the antique glass tabletop, you'll die. And finally, for you super elite French hackers out there, Ubisoft has some gameplay for you. The publisher released a 20-minute gameplay demo for Watch Dogs 2, which goes through some of the hacking skills which are new in this sequel, but also some of the old familiars. It shows off a good chunk of the game's recreation of San Francisco 2. And I desperately want to go back there and get out of this shoebox hellhole. But now it's time for Thing of the Day. In a permadeath challenge run of Pokemon Fire Red, a trainer by the name of Pokemon Challengers attempted to beat the entire game with a single Rattata. After many failed attempts across over 50 hours of in-game time, he finally did it.
We did it! Yes!
Alright, that is it for today's episode of Pocket News. My Pocketeers tonight on Good Game, ABC 2, 8:30 Hex tonight. Look at Paragon, Epic's new MOBA.
Yes!
Rad takes us to a Magic the Gathering tournament and we check out Bound. Also, an incredibly lovely Pocketeer sent us in a little care package. First of all, there's this card, which is entirely hand-drawn, which I'm just very impressed with. There's stickers of our favorite Zero Time Dilemma characters, including stupid Eric, right there with his goddamn ice cream that he constantly talks about. But most amazingly, some dolls. So Here's a Nick boy. Little Pocketeers t-shirt, Pete getting close on that. Crazy hair. They've got my watch. They've got my tattoo. They've got my ring. There's a John, ladies and gentlemen, with a Punisher t-shirt on and his little disgusting hairy legs, very true to life. And then there's a Pete. Pete's got his cat in his bag and he's got his emergency warden hat. And finally, my dog Bo. My dog Bo is included in this. These are just ridiculous. So thank you very much to the anonymous Pocketeer who sent those in. They are absolutely incredible and we're completely touched. If you want to be touched, then join the Pocketeers Facebook group and Steam group. There are links to everything I just said in the description below. Today's Thing of the Day graphic was made by Icy Mind Eraser. If you have made a thing, please send that old thing in. Until we next assemble, my Pocketeers, Nick Bye out. Mwah! Now Pete, I'll tell you what, we've been here 20 minutes, not a single comment on my new jacket.
From me?
Yeah.
It's fine.
So it's a weird week. Lots of little indies, a drug trip, and then the biggest MMO of all time. Nick's picks for this week would be